Animal Man number 4, written by Jeff Lemire, art by Travel Foreman. We last left off with Buddy and Maxine in the red fighting off 2 of the Hunter's 3, and the third hunter was disguising himself as the detective, policeman, whatever, who Ellen called in order to get some help. This issue picks up with Ellen in the car talking to the detective, basically saying, okay, yeah, I know, stuff is crazy, but thank you for helping us, and we're going to be going to my mother's house in Sacramento. So, just letting you know, that's where this story will be taking place. And the hunter is driving the car. He seems totally normal, and he's like, no problem, I'm sure your husband's just fine. And we get a little slice cutaway of the trunk of the car, and we see the actual real detective is in the trunk. Then we cut over to the red, and the fight is just brutal, and Buddy is losing. Animal Man is being torn apart by the Hunters 2, whatever you want to call them, the Rot people. And one of the people in the parliament is like, hey, Maxine, I know it's scary, but you have total control over the red. Like, this is your place, not theirs. Go get him. And Maxine walks over, and the hunter's like, ooh, boy, more food. And Maxine's like, get away from my dad. And she just explodes the rot things away. And it basically is just completely wipes them out for a little bit. Not forever, but Animal Man's like, Maxine, great job. I'm just going to lay down for a bit because I am not okay. Pfft, collapses. We cut over to the mom side. The detective is feeling a little bit of a headache coming on as the mom steps out onto the porch. The mom of the mom goes out and steps on the porch. Grandma, as I will call her from now on. And Ellen's like, let me go talk to her. She's not going to be happy about any of this. So Cliff and the hunter stay by the car, and the hunter, his face just explodes out for a second while Cliff is complaining I can't get any reception. Cliff looks up, he's like, you all right? He's like, yeah, I'm fine, no problem. And we hear a thump for the trunk. And then there's just this horrifying panel of an eyeless, gaping jawed detective, tentacles coming out of it. If I could just show this one page to you, I can't. But if I could, this is everything I love about the art. Oh my god. Okay, anyway, so we go back into the red. Maxine is crying for her father, someone fix him. This is the red, come on. And the red's like, you can fix him. You have control over this. And she's like, I'm not a doctor. And he's like, you control the flesh. The red is the flesh. You do that. So she just reaches over, and his flesh needs clay, and he heals up his wounds. And he gets up, and he's like, Maxine, you fixed me. And she's like, yeah, I think I deserve a superhero costume now. And she's like, done. We'll do it as soon as we get out of here. So they talk for a brief second about, what happened to the Rot. They were gotten rid of, but they will come back. And they're going to be constantly coming after Maxine. And it would be better if we just show you what's happening. So they just do the weird veiny things and hook them into the red so they can show them visually what's going on. And we get the history of the Hunters 3. Apparently they were 3 totems of the red avatars. They protected it, they did well, and they joined the parliament. But then through the life web, there was this corrupting darkness that tempted them with the antidote for life, or whatever you want to call it. And it brought them out of the parliament and made them become the Hunters 3. And now they work for the Rot, and their goal is to get Maxine to become a living avatar of the Rot, because then nothing could possibly stop them. So, yeah. And Buddy's like, okay, this is all so big. What do you want me to do about this? And he's like, we want you to just keep Maxine alive. She's the only thing that's important here. And she's strong while she's here, but she has a lot to learn while she's outside of the red. Her powers aren't nearly as well focused or anything like that. So just keep her alive until she's actually, good at her job. And Buddy's like, just make me the avatar. I'm already trained in this stuff. Let me do it. It's like, that's not how it works. But you will find help. You may not know this, but in Swamp Thing, Alec Holland, he's also fighting against the Rot, though he doesn't know it yet. And so you're going to get help. And then one of the totems, one of the people in the parliament, who looks like a giant cat, steps forward. He's like, by the way, I've also decided I'm going to help you. So this giant hairless cat steps out, and he's like, this is for the fate of the entire Red. Despite the fact that I will never be able to rejoin the Red again after I've left, it's well worth it for the sake of helping you. So, come, we have much to do. We cut back to Grandma and Mom. They're in the kitchen, and they're basically saying, like, your husband's brought home trouble. You said you would leave him if he ever brought home trouble, but he brought home trouble. He's like, what do you want me to do, Mom? He's the father of my kids, and I love him. I've done. This is just how it's going. Wait a minute. Where did Cliff and the detective go? And then we see where Cliff and the detective and the hunter went, and the hunter's head is now swollen up, like just this ridiculously huge size. And he's dragging them both down to the lake, and he's like, I'm going to put you in danger so the Avatar will come, and then I can get her. So, yeah, that's what's going to happen. And the detective wakes up, and the hunter grabs him and is like, I got to feed real quick first. And the detective's dead. There's no way he's not. The mom, Ellen, she goes out to the barn, grabs a shotgun, and she's like, that thing showed up at my doorstep. It's already here. Let's go. We cut over to Buddy, who is arriving back at his normal home, and he's got his daughter and the totem, which actually was just a cat. Like, when it was the Avatar of the Red, it was just a cat. Like, that just happens. And Maxine asks, like, oh, well, what's your name? He's like, well, it was originally Socks, but while I was in the Red, I decided upon the name Ignatius, which I prefer. He's like, no, I'm going to call you Socks. You seem like a Socks to me. So they realize that the mom and Cliff are gone. The house is completely trashed. And they're like, oh, okay, something bad happened, but I'm sure your mom is fine. She's one tough cookie. And then we see her running through the woods with the shotgun. She arrives at the lake. The detective being devoured. And the hunter standing there going, hello, Mommy. And that's where we leave off. I have said it 4 times already. I've said it 3 times already. This is the 4th. I love this book. This book is fantastic. The art, incredible. The lore, fantastic. Every single bit of pacing, perfect. I cannot speak higher of this book. The only reason I don't give these, like, 10s or even probably 9s is just because I'm waiting for that pow. Like, if this, it's done a bad job because it's like made me expect such high quality of it all the time, which may not be fair to it, and that's reasonable if you think that I'm not being fair to it. But I expect such high quality things. I'm just waiting for that one issue to come up where it's just gonna knock me on my ass. And at that point, I will give it the 10. But right now, I'm giving this one an 8.5. It's so fantastic. I would tell you to get it now. I am telling you to get it now. Get it now. It's great. 8.5, and I cannot wait to see where it goes from here.